I think we're live.
Yeah,
yes,
we are.
We are live.
Okay.
Such technical difficulties.
It's technology, man. It's a struggle. Did the tweet go out? I think I tweeted it.
I love how there are 7 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are too many people, and it's just the 3 of us. It's like clickbait.
I know.
Wait, what?
Because like there's so many people in the
group chat. I put everybody's picture.
pictures. So like when they click on it and it's just the 3 of us, it's just like, what is this Target version of your promise?
I'm dead. Wait, it's not showing up in my feed. What is this garbage? What the heck? Where do you see it, Rue?
I just retweeted it.
Oh, it's not. Is it public though?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Huh.
Oh,
it's unlisted.
It's unlisted. What's unlisted?
This whole live.
How do I unlist it?
You have to make it public.
Oh, I didn't
do that.
Yeah, because it's not showing up on YouTube. I don't know how you can change it at this point.
I think you should do it again.
Yeah.
Because isn't that what
Nicole did?
Nicole did?
Yeah.
She had to do it again.
Public. I just changed it to public.
Oh, okay, perfect. I'm actually dead. Okay, it's public now. 2 people are watching. It's us.
It's us. It's you want it's me.
Fine. I'll give you that view time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's public now. 2 people are watching. It's us.
Okay.
Can you mute it?
Yeah, I'm deleting. Sorry, it takes like a minute to mute. Okay, Tammie.
Does it?
It just started playing. Leave me alone.
This clickbaity thumbnail. I'm dead.
I can't be bothered to fix it. Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. I did take out like the people who didn't show up for my live.
True.
Alrighty, so hey everybody, welcome to our The Burning God live show. Woo! Where we'll be discussing the heartbreak, the devastation, the masterpiece that is The Burning God. So we're just gonna introduce ourselves and then give our non-spoilery thoughts and our rating of the book. Right?
Is there such a thing as non-spoilery at this point?
You're right. We'll just give our rating of the book then.
If you have not read the book or this series,
don't be here.
Yeah, exit. Or be spoiled, either or.
Yeah. So yeah, my name is Sophia. This is my channel, Fantasy Book Addict. I gave The Burning God 5 out of 5 stars.
My name is Tammie from the channel Tammie Tries to Read. I also gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars.
My name is Rue from Rue's Reading Corner, and big shocker, I gave this 5 stars.
We're so boring.
I wish one of us didn't like it so that this conversation would be.
The thing is, I do feel like it's not like a perfect 5, right? Like the book is not perfect. But I still feel like it's a 5-star book.
But also, I feel like if you go through all my ratings, it's so much more likely for me to give a book that's later on in a series 5 stars because I'm primarily a character reader. So once I get hooked on the characters, it's much more easier. So it's a lot harder for me to give first books in series 5 stars.
That makes sense.
The ending is just so bittersweet to me.
It's just the perfect the perfect ending. She stuck that landing. She really did the whole like in gymnastics when they're like,
and I feel like because the 2 of you read arcs, and then by the time I was reading it, I feel like people were just like up in arms about the ending. So I was like really interested to see what it was going to be, because that was one of the things Sophia didn't tell me.
I did.
You did not. You refused to tell me. You scrolled in the chat.
I did. I was
fight me.
She was like, spoilers, and then I messaged her like the ending, and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "No."
I just wanted to know who died. That's all I wanted to know.
My favorite thing is Rue in her reading blog. Somewhere in her reading blog was like, it's not that like the book isn't like surprising me in any way, but I'm still really enjoying. I'm like, bitch, the book isn't surprising you because you've gotten all the spoilers.
Okay, to be fair, no. To be fair, Sophia only texted me when she had something to say. So all the big events, she was like, OMFG, this happened. So all the smaller things, she didn't say anything about. So like there were a lot of elements in the book that I knew nothing about. I'll have you know.
Okay.
I was just dying when I watched that. It's like you really like misrepresented the fact that you got a ton of spoilers.
Because the things I didn't tell you,
I did.
Did you? No, you did.
I mean, I started texting about the we
in
were
the group chat.
Yeah, but I kind of like zoned you guys out. You had this whole conversation about the Burning God, and I just zoned you guys out and I was reading The Sword of Kai again. I remember.
That's rude. Look at you admitting you don't listen to us.
When you were listen at this point, at that point, I didn't want to know spoilers. Because when Sophia was reading it, it was like months and months away from release. So I'd forgotten half the stuff she told me, so I didn't want to know that back then.
It was just so you're so like the betrayals. Rin should have known better. She should have known better.
She has no brain cells, though.
Yeah, I don't have that many expectations from her.
When she went in and she was like following the trifecta, and she's like, you know what? I need the trifecta to help me conquer the world or whatever. And I'm like, madam.
Yeah, like she really was like Sudashi was like, Riga cannot be trusted. And then he came back to life and she was like, no, he can't be trusted.
that scene, I was just like, peak Rin. Like,
Rin. Oh, honey, no. I will say that was my least favorite kind of arc. Because I feel like it just ended so abruptly. And I was like, there's no way they're all dead. There's no way.
It felt convenient to me too because of like what happened with Nasha and the ships. I think they were just casually waiting for her. I don't know. It just felt the whole part.
I didn't feel like it was convenient. I thought it was a very
anticlimactic.
Yeah. I thought it was anticlimactic, but I understood kind of the point of like she's with like the most like powerful kind of figureheads of kind of the imperial dynasty, which is what they kind of stand for in this book. And then the fact that like the kind of colonizers, like the whole imperialism thing, the fact that can destroy that whole dynasty thing so quickly, I thought that was like the thematic parallels. I was like, I really loved it. But in terms of like the emotional impact, I was like, there's no way they're dead.
Yeah.
Because I kept expecting, okay, something's gonna happen. They're gonna come back. Something.
Yeah. I was like, Chang's gonna come back from the ashes, and he didn't.
But like when reading a fantasy, unless I see a body, I don't believe
they're not dead. Yeah,
but the book and the series is over, Sophia. We'll never know.
But like my thing is that the reason why I felt it was anticlimactic in that regard was because the first two books, like the trifecta is like this looming, all-powerful being in the background. And then so Rin is going to like wake up Chang, who is like the most terrifying. Like he's built up to be like, out of all of them, the worst of the worst. You know what I'm saying?
You mean Riga?
Yeah. He's the leader of
yeah.
My bad. Sorry. But like he's built up to be like this all-powerful, like even Sudaji is scared of him. And the fact that he wakes up and like less than a page later he dies because
literally he had 2 pages.
I'm just like
life.
Yeah, I'm just like that. To me, I think I would have preferred to see them struggle a little bit more. Yeah. But I understand for like how long this book is supposed to be. Like I understand why the decisions were made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I just I just feel like it was so like it was also like you got a glimpse of like the whole like Chang and Rin potential father-daughter relationship situation. You got a glimpse of it, and he was just like, "Run, I'll save you." And then I was like about to cry, and then everyone was dead, and I was like, my tears have been stopped. Like, what's happening?
I'm supposed to be in pain right now. Why am I not in pain?
Why am I not crying?
But yeah, I know people were like upset with the ending and like how it wasn't a happily ever after. And I felt like I felt satisfied.
To that, I just say Tammie's 20-minute long video.
Where I ranted about it. I just don't understand how you can go into this series, have read the first 2 books, and then expect some sort of like a positive or happy ending.
I will say
it's those reviews for me that haven't read book 1 and 2 and just read book 3.
Oh my god! While we talk, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I feel like another issue is because like people confuse the Poppy War all the time for young adults.
Oh my god,
it's
disgusting.
Even if they confuse it before they read it, that's I guess understandable. But afterwards, I just don't understand. This is one of those books that's so dark. There's
no way it's right.
Yeah, exactly. But like I feel like people still expect it because like people have read another book that by another author who shall not be named, and they call his book YA, even though they read it and like it's very adult, and people will still like, oh yeah, this is YA because it's following a 16-year-old protagonist. You know what I'm saying?
That book is a lot more YA than this is,
but
it's
like
on a scale.
I don't think so. I feel like they're both adult, but like adult in like different ways. You know,
Yeah,
like
I'm just going off like graphic scenes and like.
Yeah, I
violence
and so like the people who actually read this and who actually categorize it as YA, I think they're disappointed because it doesn't meet their expectation. Because like YA has a very specific formula, and it's been thriving off of that formula for like years now, you know. And so like when they read this and they're expecting this formula and they get something completely different, they're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, but like, honestly, I agree with you guys. I don't know how you can read all those brutal murder scenes and think.
Yeah.
Like,
it's also like just the trajectory of like Rin's overall arc. Like, how can you think that she would end up like conquering the world? Because I think that's what a lot of people were pissed about. They were like, oh, I'm pissed that like she didn't end up, you know, setting the fucking world on fire, basically.
But like,
and I'm like, how can you expect that?
Because it's like so historically like influenced, and how much, even if like one person with like insane magic, how much can they stand up to a whole empire?
Exactly.
It was interesting to see her descent into madness. I will say, I was like, oh my gosh, she has finally snapped. Like,
I will say that all the little moments in the first 2 books where I was just like, she's so annoying. Why is she doing this? Like, why does she keep doing this? It all built up and added to that one moment where she just lost it, and that felt so much more believable to me because of all those small moments that I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this? Because like they all added up and just chipped at her until she just completely lost it. And I was just like, oh.
She is completely unhinged, and I love it. Like, truly, when people are like, oh, Hilo is unhinged, Chao is unhinged, I'm like, no. My girl Rin in The Burning God is unhinged, okay? Like, truly unhinged. Like, even at the beginning of the book, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we had a little time skip, and she's lost it. She's lost it.
Like, I can see, because like I think war and all of the betrayals just drew like, and like, all the difficult decisions like she had to make, because like the very first like major decision she had to make was at the end of the Poppy War, where she completely destroyed empire, and then in the beginning of The Burning God, where she has to choose between turning herself in or saving her brother's life.
Oh my goodness.
It's like basically it's just like little bits, like just chipping away at her sanity until you get the Rin that's at the end of it.
Exactly. And I think it's the whole like I feel like in book 2 we really saw like her clearly not wanting to have power and to take responsibility, and like clearly wanting to kind of shift responsibility onto other people, but then in book 3 she's the one who has to take all the responsibility, and you can see the toll that takes on her. And it's just good. Oh, I love it. I'm going through my quotes now.
One scene I really liked was like the back and forth between her and Najah, but like when Najah tricked her into like showing all of her force and like all of her army, I was just like, damn, this was.
Can we just talk about how our man just walked in and it started raining? Like the drama. He just like, let me just.
It was literally like a fucking drama moment. Okay, it was a drama moment.
Had Bollywood flashbacks. I was just like,
I fucking loved it because it was such a flex of like his power as well.
Yeah, and he was just like how much he's grown as well.
Exactly. It was literally like him just being like, you wanted me to embrace my like shamanic ability. Fuck you, I'm better than you. And I was like, ooh, sir.
But like also like when she tried to kill him, like she was on top of him and like she had a chance to kill him and she was just like, for some reason I can't. And I'm like, I find that interesting. I find it interesting because it's like you're willing to let your brother die, but not this man. But okay, but like I don't know. I'm just like the angst.
Yeah.
Like
he's attractive. Okay, that's the difference.
He's very pretty.
Yeah, extremely pretty.
True.
Really, all it is.
But yeah, she was like, I can't kill him, and I'm like, I know.
You love him.
That is like my problematic fave. Okay.
He's my ultimate problematic fave.
It's like, do I agree?
So interesting though. He's such an interesting character.
And like the fact that like we got to see, I feel like he was kind of, I don't know if he was forced, but like in the second book when we got to see him struggle between his loyalty to his friends and like doing what was right versus the to his father, and like in the third book how he just like fully embraces it and he's like, what you wanted, okay then, like
exactly,
I'm here to fuck shit up. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
But then like I also find his story arc so tragic though, because
everybody,
it's literally like so tragic because A, he's lost everybody. B, the fact that he's like, you know, he says throughout the book and like even in the second book how like he's clearly someone who like can't cope with things, and he said before like that I think he said that he like tried to take his own life before or whatever, and the fact that he is now the one who has to live with everything, and I'm like, that is literally his worst case scenario in all honesty, and I'm just like, it's so tragic, and he's now basically a puppet of the white people.
The prologue where he was all like, he said
the epilogue, you mean?
Epilogue, you know what I mean. English.
I was like, let me just check the prologue. Like,
I was like, what's the prologue? The trifecta?
But like in the prologue, I forget the exact line.
Epilogue.
Oh, sorry. Did I say it again? In the epilogue, he actually says it where he's like, he's like, I knew she wasn't doing me a favor, and like this was like her last revenge, or like something along those lines. And I'm just like,
it's so true though. It's so true because like Rin really was like, "Fuck you, Najah."
But yeah, and like I felt so bad because like he lost everybody. Like he lost his dad. The way Rin killed his dad, though. The way.
Oh, I fucking loved that. The way I screamed. Because I'm pretty sure I read the thing where she like kissed him, and I was like, "What the fuck? How dare she kiss?"
She got
It's so funny because it's so funny because this is the first spoiler that Sophia sent me. Because she was just like outraged, and I was just like, the book starts. Like, what's going on?
I was like, how dare she kiss him before Najah? How dare? I'm offended. And then I read like 2 sentences later, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's the part she was offended by, not that she's kissing her.
No, I was offended that she kissed him. I was like, she making out with his daddy. Like, what is wrong with her?
I was like, that's fucked.
And then she breathes
But
fire.
that is because they're not kissing his son first. That's more fucked.
And then she breathes fire
Oh.
down his throat. And I'm just like, and she kills him. And I'm just like,
It's so brutal and so good.
And so creative. I was just like, damn.
It's so good. I was like, damn, ma'am. Okay.
I was just like, and then like the mom jumped off a building. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah. I was like, well, you know what?
I could not care less about her.
She sucked.
She was just like, her whole personalities was, I want to be white. I wish I was white.
Literally.
I would like to be white.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Let me find some quotes.
Go ahead.
No, it was like at the end too, when she's like, oh, dying is easy, living is harder to him. And I'm just like, for A, Hamilton, B, only R.F. Kuang would like kill a bunch of characters and make you feel sorry for the one that's still alive. You know what I mean? Instead of like,
True though.
It's true.
True though.
Because guaranteed, like when people were waiting for this book to come out, they were like, I wonder who's gonna die because they're gonna make me cry. No, I want to cry about Naja. Like,
I honestly, the fact that he now has to live, but he has zero freedom. Like, he is not a free man. He is literally like
their puppet.
There's like there's nothing he can do. He's like shackled with those cuffs, which was like such a good nod to like Chinese mythology, by the way. V nice, because Naja in Chinese mythology is also cuffed.
Ooh.
To like,
I'm gonna read all of these. I'm gonna read
powers. Naja's like a boy god. Like he's like known as like this mischievous like boy, very powerful god, and like the gods all hate him basically, or not hate him, but like yeah. So yeah, he gets these like cuffs that like rein in his powers. So I thought that was like a nice little nod.
That is wow. There are so many things I feel like I missed out on because, like, obviously, I know the obvious how the Sino-Japanese War and then the Civil War. So, like, I was able to pick up on like those, like, aspects of the book, but like it's like the tiny things. Like Tammie will say like this one little thing, and I'm just like, wow.
It's honestly like the way that she's kind of just kind of like thrown in little like Easter eggs is just so well done. It's so well done.
Now I'm gonna have to read like every mythology that she's referencing and then go back and reread the series a third time. I'm just saying. And do we want to talk about Katy?
Oh, Katy. You know what? He annoyed me for a lot of this book, so I'm not mad.
I like him less in this book. I won't lie. I think peak Katy was book 2. And then here he was just like
whiny.
Because book 2 he starts out and he's like, I liked his banter with Rin, and I liked that they were keeping each other on their toes. Like when he was being too pious, she was like, fuck off. And like when she was being irrational, he was like, just think about this. But here I feel like the scales just like tipped too much into like,
and he just was completely enabling her, but also like being like, I'm gonna sit here on my moral high ground,
exactly.
But like, but also I'm not gonna do anything to stop you, even though I don't believe. I'm like, because he could have easily cut her off way before, and he just didn't.
I also find it interesting how in like one of the things, how I think because like Rin was like, we need to fight, and then Katy was all like, well, maybe it's not worth the pain. He says like sometimes compliance save you pain. Compliance might have saved us at Golden Niece. I was like, sir? Where did this come from? Like I found that to be so awful because like even if they were compliant, it wouldn't have saved them. You know what I mean?
I think one of my favorite things about this book was just again how realistic it was. You'd think in any other book when they won the war that would be it, but then you come home and you realize because everyone's been fighting, no one's been like growing any food, so they have no food and that kind of stuff. Like those scenes were just so, and the scenes with the army just like moving, the frostbite, like how the little cannibalism scene.
Oh, I was not expecting that one.
Me neither.
those two little girls and those two little girls just like casually being like, whoa.
I'm hungry.
I know. My goodness.
And then Ren was all like, don't let them catch you. Like, don't let them catch you. But like it was so interesting because there was like a callback in the Burning God to the Dragon Republic. So in the Dragon Republic, when they're on the ship, and there's a bunch of starving people like on the and so Ren is like, why aren't you guys feeding them? Like, why can't you give them something to eat? And then Naja's like, have you seen them? Have you ever tried feeding them? Like, they tear each other to shreds. And in this book, when Ren, towards the end, Ren is going back to the south out and she tries to feed them. And then like they're literally just tearing each other to shreds just for like this one morsel of food. And so like I thought that was interesting and sad.
Oh, so sad.
That just brings to the topic that how this Rin is just not a good leader in general.
He's terrible.
And I feel like she really tried in this book. And I'm just like, homegirl, you're a good soldier. Just be that. Like, let someone else tell you what to do. Just do that. Like,
she really should have just let Soji take over, in all honesty. Like, she really should have just let him take the army.
Literal. Yeah. Literal. And then his betrayal.
Oh my goodness.
I was so into it in the first. I was just like, oh.
Same. I posted a meme that was like, oh, okay. And then like literally 2 minutes later, I was like, no.
Never mind.
Never mind.
But yeah, I thought, okay, I like the teasing in the beginning, how he was teasing her. I think like at one point he offered to get her laid. In the beginning. That was so funny to me. And then he was just like, she was just so uncomfortable. She was just like, no.
That was hard before Naja attacked, wasn't it?
Right before.
Yeah. The beginning of the end.
I was just like, I was like, is Arf Kwang gonna give us a smut scene?
I doubt it.
She said no. She's like, focus.
I think she said in an interview before that she was never gonna really like write smut scenes because her parents like read her writing, so she's like, no. Which I'm like, fair, yeah.
Her parents are so cute.
Her dad is like the freaking cutest.
It was, I mean, when she was talking about giving Rin wings to fly, and then her dad
like, it doesn't work.
All the reasons why this is improbable.
That was the way he was waiting next to his mailbox for his special edition.
When the Illumicrate edition sold out, I think like the dad and the boyfriend were upset. They're just like, they
what about us? What about us? I died. I was dying at the like him sending her like physics notes though, because I'm like, he was waiting. He was just putting together a works cited and was like, daughter, you are incorrect. And I was like, oh, this is the most Asian parent thing. Like, it hurts me. So good.
Like, just let me have this one thing, Dad.
No. You can always do better. That's like such a Chinese parent motto. It's like, you might be doing okay, but you can always do better. Can we talk about my favorite, the like whole murder babies? My murder baby having her own murder babies. Her little I loved it. Their little
one of my favorite scenes.
Their training montage situation.
And like Rin is such a bad teacher once again, because like she couldn't even she's just like, I barely know what I'm doing. And
yeah, literally. Guys. She was like, we have to meditate? ? And then we take drugs.
Yeah, but like I feel like there were some like soft, nice moments.
There
like
were.
Especially after one of them killed the other, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember their names, but like one of them killed the other one. And while they got their powers, and then she was just like, I want to die.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Oh, it was so good.
I really liked when she was trying to get Soji to work with him, and then she puts her fingers around his neck and just slightly post it. And then she's like, you're my bitch now, Soji. You do anything I ask without complaint. You let the dirt off my boots if I want. Is that clear? I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Can we just talk about how she killed him?
Oh my god, that was brutal, and I loved it.
I was just like, damn, Rin.
The fact that she was just like, there's no blood on my hands, personally.
That was another moment where Katy was like, yeah, sure. Let me wait till it's over and then be like, I don't know about this.
I love how my highlights are just like usually they go from like highlights with like some, notes to just like bookmarks and sobbing. I'm sobbing in all caps.
The amount of tabs I have in here are just.
Oh, the first moment I cried. I don't think anyone cried, but one of my favorite scenes is the cave scene, to be honest. I really love that scene. I feel like it was really well written. It was like so good. And also this bit where she says, if she could remember how to hate Naja, she would have killed him. But instead she turned her back and let him make his retreat while she made hers. And I was like, back to back once again.
I hate you. Why are you like this?
They find themselves back to back once again, but for a different reason. And I was like sobbing.
The callbacks were just masterful.
The little like funeral scene situation.
Oh,
God.
I remember that scene. What was that scene?
It was like when she was having like a little baby funeral with for Pipaji, and then like Kita, and then this quote, chapter 30. It's chapter 30, but then it says Kitai had been the first to reach out with his fingers, and then all three of them were holding hands, Naja and Rin on either side of Kitai, and it felt and looked absolutely terribly wrong, and still Rin never wanted to let go. I'm gonna start crying. Oh, it hurts my soul. It hurts me so bad.
It's like
there was I think in the same chapter maybe, but like there was this one line where for just this one moment they could be children again.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, my heart. Oh, because it's true. They're so young. Like we can make fun of them for not knowing what they're doing, but they're so young.
So young. Because I think when they like quote unquote graduate, they're like 18, so they must be like in their early 20s here.
Because I know there are some time skips.
Yeah, there's a few. Oh,
it's crazy because like I don't even think because like they graduated, but I don't think they like fully graduated. They didn't even.
No, they didn't finish. They just like were forced to graduate early.
Yeah. And so it's like they didn't even get a chance to like fully experience their childhood. Rin never even got a childhood in the first
place. Because her foster parents were shit.
Yeah. And so I never thought of it that way. But like, can we talk about the lack of Venka?
Oh, I was just gonna say, should we talk about Venka death? I feel like
it's upsetting to me because I know that
she wrote those scenes.
She wrote those scenes and they were cut out.
Yeah. And like, cause like that, I thought like with the way book 2 ended, I thought that she was going to play like a bigger role.
Agree. But then she went off to like spy on people.
Yeah. And like even when she came back, I was like, okay, my baby is back. Like, let's see how my murder babies like work together, excited.
Yeah.
And, like, we didn't get those scenes.
We didn't. And like I understand why, because in the grand scheme of things, I understand that she's not as important of a character or whatever, but like
if Brandon Sanderson can give me 1,000 pages, Ara Kwong could give me a couple hundred more. Okay.
I feel like she also didn't get to write that many more, so it's more.
Yeah, I don't know if that's her choice.
Yeah.
Because she says, like, in all her interviews, that she writes non-linearly, right? And then so she always writes double the amount that actually ends up in the book.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has like many versions of the same thing happening. Yeah, I just love it. That's chaotic. That's how I read. So like I really like listening to her talking about writing.
Yeah.
So like already she has like multiple versions of the same event.
Yeah.
But you must also have a lot of events that
Don't make it in.
don't make it in exactly, but still fit into the narrative. Because again, there's so many time skips. You don't know what happens in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that was my favorite character because like she went from being a mean girl, like the stereotype.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand her in book 1, but she went from that to like potential allies and then like, this tenuous like friendship because
enemies to friends.
Yeah.
Besties, my favorite trope.
And therefore, like, because like she was the one who took Rin to the funeral site, and then like she told her like about her struggles and like about the abortion.
Yeah,
and, like that was like a beautiful scene in my opinion. And then Rin just went and ratatatata. You know what I'm saying? Well, she didn't kill her, but like you.
But the way that Rin says, "Are you a spy?" and then Venka's like, "Move, bitch! I'm gonna stop this arrow from killing you." I'm just like,
that okay. I know people. It's like it's open for debate whether or not Venka was spying, but like in my heart,
I was a little sus. I'm not gonna lie.
The way I choose to interpret it, I don't think Venka was spying. Okay, because like. Why? Because why take an arrow? I would have let her die.
I think what's for me, I'm like, I feel like she was sus, but I feel like it was more like she did what Katy was too scared to do, which was to do something to stop her.
I also think because Naja and Venka are like besties.
Yeah.
Childhood best friends. I feel like while she chose them over Naja, I think that she could also be okay with kind of like almost a like working together situation.
I also feel like
Venka chose completely on their side is what I'm
saying. I feel like at the end of book 2, Venka didn't choose Rin because of her loyalty to Rin. She chose Rin because she felt like it was the right thing to do. And I feel like throughout this book she was like, no, Rin's not actually doing the right thing. So like we're gonna backtrack.
A huge part of it was she just didn't want to like be under her parents' thumb anymore, which is understandable, which is why she left.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think she could have possibly chosen like Naja because like in the beginning we get to see her struggle. Like after what happened at Golden Knees, we get to see her struggle and say like, hey, I can do this. Like this is give me back my agency. And like Naja and her father are like the main people trying to take that agency away from her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think she does any of these things out of her loyalty to Naja or Rin. Like she does it for like what she feels is the right thing to do.
My baby's the only one who has morals, and she had she died because of those morals. Oh my gosh. I think like that was the first because like we've had a bunch of deaths previously throughout, but like that hit me in my feels. I was just like, I read it and my heart just dropped out of my chest. Why she do me like this?
I think either someone that I was like DMing with or someone who commented on my video said that they thought that it was Katy who betrayed Rin and was the actual spy. And I was like, oh, interesting theory. I didn't think of this, but I'm okay. I could be on board with this. I love an open-ended ending though.
Yeah, I love open-ended endings too. Like I don't know why. It's just I hate it when books like they tie everything up in like a perfect little bow. I'm just like
I hate it.
And like cuz like most books the epilogue is used to tie everything up. And so like I saw the epilogue and I was just like, "Oh no." Like she did an epilogue. I'm scared now. But then I read it and I was like, this epilogue is perfect. Like
the epilogue is just perfect, like masterful. Truly
literally
a masterpiece.
Got her revenge on Petra.
Oh,
was like,
so satisfying.
She deserved every second of that.
And she couldn't have died any other way. She had to die like being dissected.
Poetic justice. We love to see it. But yeah, I think someone was saying, and now like remembering, they were saying they suspected Katy of being the spy because like when Katy got like kidnapped or whatever by Neja, that conversation they had, they were like, it was too friendly for my liking. And I was like, okay.
But also I feel like that could have been cultivated in all the time he'd been in captivity.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so true.
Let me find some more tear jerking.
Oh, I really like that badass scene with Chang. And then like he's like unleashing his devastation on the experience. Like it's like after they get out of the cave.
Mm-hmm. I think that was like the first moment you really see the extent of his powers. And he is so damn.
I found the cannibalism scene. It's also just so interesting because the children are so desensitized because she really says go ahead, like go ahead, her eyes said kill me, I won't even feel it. Like I know, I was just like oh wow.
Their mom, whoever that lady was that tried to sell him, she's trash. Like literally. Was she trying to sell them to become comfort women? Because like I know like
I think so, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then like Tammie, because like I think when we read the scene in The Burning God where her sister was about to get raped, and so
blankets.
She tells her sister to hide in the closet under the clothes.
Yeah. That's from the rape of Nanking.
Yeah.
That scene.
I was just like, what?
Oh my goodness, I forgot I highlighted this quote. Rin says, I received both these scars from men I thought I loved. Rin said, one is dead now, one will be.
And oh.
Oh, I just love her.
Literally. Okay, I will say I was irritated with Rin throughout the majority of the series, but like then she died, and I was like, wow. I cried. I cried. I was just like, wow.
One of my favorite quotes that I really liked was like, you know how the South is always called dirt, and then Nikan is always called dirt by the Hesperians, and then she said, let them think of us as dirt. She was dirt. Her army was dirt, but dirt was common, patient, and necessary. The soil gave life to the country, and the earth always reclaimed what it was owed. And I was just like, ooh.
There were so many. I feel like in terms of the writing, The Burning God is really like R.F. Kuang's best writing. Yeah. I really think so. Like I feel like there were so many sentences, so many like lines that were just so poetic, and I was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the progression was just like gradual and satisfying to watch. I was just like,
I have this one thing annotated with homegirls going crazy. Because Rin is like, just at this point, right at the end, she's like, I am the force of creation. I am the beginning and the end. The world is a painting and I'm holding a brush. I'm a god. And I'm just like, oh, girl, are you okay?
I think I have that highlighted too. Yeah, I thought they were like really interesting. There was like a really interesting commentary on like both colonialism and imperialism and that kind of relationship, and how like even after colonialism ends, you still maintain like imperialistic relationships with countries, and it was so good. And the sentence, I loved this. It was so accurate, and it was like, they want to erase us. It's their divine mandate. They want to make us better, to improve us by turning us into a mirror of themselves. And I'm like, them white folks. Fuck them white folks.
It was. I'm just like going through all of my quotes. I have like a million different quotes.
I have so many quotes.
Literally, all these things, all of them. I'm just like, now what do I find? What do
There's
I?
so many. There's this one that's like, what you have to do is shroud yourself in myth. Your enemies' deaths become part of your legend. Eventually, you become so far removed from reality that right and wrong don't apply to you. Your identity becomes part and parcel of the idea of the nation itself. They'll love you no matter what you do. And I thought that was so interesting, like in terms of like how we talk about historical figures, especially historical figures in power. And like you think about people like terrible leaders, but like in the future, how are people going to talk about these people and how are they going to be deified? And like how these people have been like woven into the narrative of the country. And it's just so fucking interesting.
And when Chang died, I have this annotated like as well. He's like, he'd let so many other people die. He'd let her people die, but he'd saved her. What the fuck was she supposed to do with a legacy like that? I was like,
But yeah, I also really like the way she dealt with like PTSD, particularly in Venka, because like in the beginning, when they free Rooster Province, Venka is trying to feed one of the girls, but like the girl refuses to eat, and she's just like, "Eat, they're gone." And then after Venka's like, "This doesn't kill you. Like if you can't like eat, get up. Like it will consume you." And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, let me see. Yeah, I can't find it. But like it's
like some of these lines are just so beautiful. Like she had never believed in fate, but she came to know with more certainty with every day that passed. The script of the world was not now wholly colored with a brilliant crimson streak. And I was just like, because like I feel like the Poppy War was so military in its writing. This happened, then this happened. And the Dragon Republic was a little more not flowery, but just like with these lines. Yeah. And this one is just like truly her best work. Yeah.
I agree.
This is why it's my favorite out of all three. Like I'm telling y'all, this is my favorite.
I still like I think for me, like nothing will match the battle at the Red Cliffs. Like that scene is just so well crafted, so well done.
Yeah, book 2 is my favorite too.
And I also just really like all the military tactics and stuff.
Besides the fact that Venka wasn't in it as much as I would have liked, this is my favorite. Because like Rin is just like, yeah, granted, Rin loses her marbles in the end. But is just like unapologetic, like this is me, this is my power, you will bow down and lick the dirt off my boots. Yeah. Like, wow, queen, step on me, please.
Yeah, literally.
Can we talk about Alton and how he just refuses to leave? There's that one scene again. This made me cry, like tears.
Baby
he was just like he was like he was like you can still love your weapons. You can use them. You can hurt them, but you can still love them. And I'm just like, I
will say that Alton was my least favorite. Not my least favorite character. Well, yeah, he was my least favorite character, to be honest. Because
he died in book 1. So like,
yeah, I'm just like,
no, let me tell you. Right. He was all like badass and silent, and then he started talking. I'm like, I liked you better when you were quiet, first of all. And then he died. And then like the apparitions that Rin gets were like my least favorite parts of the book, to be honest. I'm just like,
I feel like for a dead character, he gets so much page time.
He does. Yeah. But I think it's also because, like, I thought he was just so interesting because he's like he's just such a tragic character.
And again, I love that Rin can't let him go. Like, even when she's like, I'm melting this freaking trident and making a sword, like, you know, I'm letting him go. This is symbolic. And next minute, he's like, oh, hi, Alton.
And it's also like, I feel like it says more about Rin, though, like, and how, like, because I feel like she grew up as a war orphan. She never really had felt like a sense of identity or love. Whereas now they're like saying, like, Alton was the first person who was like, you're my kin. Like, we're the only two Spearly left in this world. Like this is who you are. And so when he died, she was just like, what the fuck do I have left now? So like she just latched onto the idea of him. And I was like, tragic all around.
I just love how even when like it was her version of him, she didn't water him down or tone him down at all. Like he was still that, that hard self who was like,
I feel like that speaks to her trauma. I feel like Alton, like the way Alton verbally abuses her in her mind is just her voicing her fears.
It's like her self insecurities.
Yeah, and it's just her self insecurities, but on Alton's face, with Alton's face.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I miss Chagin, but I also really like Chagin as a character. Like I wanted a little bit more. I feel like he popped in to be like, hey, how's it going?
I feel like he really comes in to be like, homegirl, I was right, you were wrong.
Yeah, he literally popped in and was like, hey, how's it going? Told you so, bye.
Yeah, I also thought that he would have more to do because like his sister died. So I'm just like, there must be a reason for this.
Yeah.
You'd think with all of the characters that have died from the psych, that the one character that's still there, they should show more of. Like, there's a reason he's still alive when everyone else is dead.
Yeah, I think like his purpose is more off page.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, I expected it to be more on page.
Same. I did expect a little bit more involvement, both from him and also the like his people. Because last we heard from him in book 2, he was like basically helping his people recover from a coup.
Yeah.
I can't wait to reread it when I get the paperback when it comes out.
Do you think it'll be purple?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it'll be cute. But also, I feel like orange and blue are so different. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make it yellow. I don't know.
Because of the UK cover?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like how we went from this book is killing me to what color do you think the
Oh yeah, I found the quote that references her killing Najah's dad.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah, it was like did you read it out loud during this live?
No.
Okay. But yeah, it wasn't enough to simply kill him. She had to humiliate and mutilate him. She had to force an inferno down his throat and clear him from the inside. To feel his burned flesh sloughing away under her fingers. She wanted overkill. She had to reduce him to a pile of something unfixable, unrecognizable. And I'm just like, ma'am.
You know what I miss in this book? I feel like if we had Najah's point of view, we could see his slow descent into madness as well. Because he loses everything, like we said before. And I know we have the Drowning Faith, but I feel like Drowning Faith. Yeah. Drowning Faith. I feel like the Drowning Faith is mostly like Najah, but with respect to Rin.
Yeah, like fluff scenes. They were all fluff scenes.
They were all fluff scenes. I just wanted to see him like losing his goddamn mind. Like,
yeah.
He held it together till the end so much better than Rin, but you could tell he was suffering just like, well, I don't want to equate feelings of suffering, but like I just feel like with his father dying, he really having no power while in this position of power. I feel like the Hesperians were a lot. Obviously, they were a lot
abusive to him.
Yeah.
They would never have cuffed his. Obviously, his father's not a shaman, but like I'm just saying that was because he's a child. He's still a child. Like no one's going to look up to him, or no one's going to actually listen to him. I'm just like, I want to see more of that.
I love how I highlighted this quote with nothing. The quote just says, "You can't go around burning their balls off." I'm assuming someone's saying this to Rin, and my note just says, "She can and she will."
Yeah, it was Katy saying that.
I'm pretty sure. I was like, what am I saying?
She can do as she pleases. Sir.
Exactly. I'm like, if she wants to burn someone's balls off, she will. She will.
I also thought that Sudaji.
Oh, I love her.
Like, because I feel like, because like I was also, I don't want to say disappointed, but I also thought that Sudaji would be like a lot more than what she was in this book. You know what I'm saying? Because like in the previous book, she's like this mysterious woman that's controlling people's minds, you know? And then we meet her and it's just like, she's just like a scared little girl that also went through so much trauma from like the Hesperians.
I just like how all three of them knew that waking up, what's his name again?
Riga
was a bad idea. They were like, let's do it anyway. And then like one of them, at least one of them, I was expecting to be like, this is a bad idea. Let's not. How about we not do this?
I feel like if Chang was in his right mind, that was like Chang
was in his right mind some of the time.
That was so interesting to see the duality between like this man who's done horrible things,
yes,
the man that he is now, who remember, God, that was fascinating. To watch.
And it was basically two different people, and I was like,
I loved it. I was like, wow, this is so interesting. But yeah. And like the trifecta were just babies, to be honest. Like they were just babies. They were trying to survive in this world. Yeah. And then
I want a whole prequel. I want a trifecta prequel. That's what I want. That's all I want in this life.
It's what they deserve.
It's what we deserve, Miss Rebecca. Please.
Miss Rebecca's moved into dark academia.
It's true.
I will read anything she can.
100%.
I will read anything at this point.
For a debut author, like this was your debut trilogy, it can only go up from here.
And it's also like she talks about a lot how she never wrote fiction before this trilogy. Like she never wrote like short stories and shit like that. Like she was just like, I'm gonna write this book.
I'm offended but also impressed.
Because she says she wrote it more as a way for her to like process her own like family history.
Oh, okay.
And then she was just like, I'm just gonna write. She's so casual about it. She's like, I'm just gonna write this book. 19-year-old Rebecca Kwong was like, I'm gonna write this book.
Hey, I remember somebody called her out on Twitter for using let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. And she was like, shut up. I was 19 when I wrote it. When I wrote it. And then somebody was like, humble brag. And she was like, no, brag.
Just to brag. I love her.
Okay, ma'am. I see you.
I was like, you know what? Claim it.
Yeah.
Don't downplay your accomplishments.
Literally. Like the way I'm an adult and I still can't write one. Like half a manuscript.
Let's not forget my NaNoWriMo and how well that went.
You started off great though.
Yeah, I wrote 800 words on the first day and then that was it.
You did better than me. I wrote 300 words. 300 words, and I'm like, this is garbage.
Same.
No, I can't do this. Man, it just made me cry.
I cried so much.
I want to know what's gonna happen to Pipaji.
She's dead.
She's dead.
What about her little sister? What's gonna happen to her little sister? You know?
She's probably gonna die.
Yeah. Aww. Just because she hasn't named, Sophia, think of all the other kids that were never named, have all died.
She has nobody.
Yeah.
They all have nobody.
This is so devastating.
I love how this is the moment she realized it.
Not anything else in the book. This one child having nobody is the most devastating.
It's crazy because, like, you know, you start off with Rin being a war orphan, and now you have Pipaji's little sister, an orphan, at the end of this war. That means Rin created a bunch of war orphans too.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
This is so sad.
I'm dead.
Wow. It makes me so sad.
I'm so sad. I can't believe the trilogy is over.
At least you can reread it all the time.
That's true.
You
It
start
is a very rereadable series, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like each time you reread it, there's like something you can get out of it, you know?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Oh, it's been an hour.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I feel like I've cried it all out.
I cried too. I was just like, oh
Rue
my
didn't cry. Can you believe?
I
Who is
don't,
this?
but I don't cry during sad. I never cry during sad moments. I cry during like heartwarming moments.
Rin dying.
You didn't think the funeral was heartwarming when they held each other's hands for the
Where-
last time?
No.
possibly
I
ever?
I said I cried during that one moment where I don't remember now. I said it during the live.
But like literally, and then Najah had the audacity in that scene. Najah had the audacity to be like, you know, we could have made a good team. And then Katy was like, yeah, but you fucked it up. I was like, let him know, Katy.
It was the one moment I was like, Katy! Yes!
Yeah.
The rest of the book, I was like, no.
And like
Katy,
at the end of that scene, they're just like, go and never come back. I was like, ah.
That scene broke me.
I was like, my heart.
It broke me.
I think I did cry. I cried when Pipaji told her story.
Yeah.
I remember my eyes were so bleary. I was just like,
I will never. I think like this was like one of my favorite books. The Burning God is spoiler alert. It's like one of my favorite books of 2020. And like I don't know, I'm a masochist because like if you look at all the books, most of the books they made me emotional. You know,
All my favorite books are books that made me cry.
I'm just like, if you crush my spirit, if you just rip my heart out of my chest, crush it, throw it on the ground and stomp on it, it'll be my new favorite book. I'm just like, give me all the pain.
Sophia, we're all in the same boat here. We know.
I just loved it so much. Yeah, any final thoughts?
Negative.
Brain empty.
All right, so that was our live show for The Burning God. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us, and then I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.